All right, this is a real talker here. A state bill designed to combat what are known as junk or hidden fees will go into effect in July, effectively outlawing added charges of 3, 4, 5, and even 6%. Joining us now for more on the bill is lawyer Justin Isaac. Justin, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thank you for having me.
Boy, this affects people all the way around.
Yeah, it's supposed to increase transparency within pricing, but I fear that it's going to have a little bit of an after effect, which would be raising prices on the back end, which is already difficult enough when you go out to restaurants because prices are pretty high with inflation.
They're very high.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at it, and there's so many. You got to feel for the restaurateurs, too, the owners of these establishments. They're already just barely making it.
Yeah.
And now that's going to cost them more?
Yeah, so it seems that that's going to be the case. And a lot of, I fear what's going to happen in the long term with some of these restaurants who might get sued. Because some of these, the penalties for an infraction, right? So if you're caught doing this after July 1st, you can face fines up to $1,000 per infraction. So you might see individuals try and go after restaurants and report them. You might see like class action lawsuits against them too, which just adds to more costs, meaning either more food costs go up or restaurants go out of business. What
about a class action suit among the restaurants toward the government?
Ooh, that's an interesting concept. I don't know if that would happen, since this is that'd be pretty hard to repeal that law based on that. But I'd have to think about the constitutional argument for something like that.
Well, there are people who are they'll go online and say, I can't believe they're charging. They've already jacked the prices up.
Yeah.
Now they're charging an extra fee on top of that. I'm never going back.
Well, that's going to happen to a lot of places, and a lot of people would say, you know, opponents of the law would say that that's your right, and just if you don't like the surcharge, then don't go to that restaurant. But that's the hard part, is now that this law is in place, there's nothing that you can really do, except these restaurants are going to just face these higher costs and some more punitive people coming after them to try and, you know, for these extra surcharges in case they do charge an extra surcharge. But it's not just restaurants too. It's concerts, it's, you know, anyone else who charges a price has to be kind of baked into the actual cost, and no bait and switch tactics is what they're saying.
And how would that work for like a concert ticket?
I believe it's just going to be, the cost is going to be associated right there. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be, because it usually just shows on the final screen. But when you click on a price, like I went and bought a ticket for a comedy show the other day for $50, and when I checked out, it was like $80, right? So maybe if you click on the ticket, now it's going to be $80 instead of just $50, but I'm not exactly sure.
Well, in that case, you would be a consumer who's for this then, because you buy a ticket for $50, wait, it's $80, and they always pile all these charges on top of them. That's going to go away, right?
Yeah, that sounds, that's exactly what the law is trying to prevent, is these add-on fees, these like kind of hidden fees.
Okay. When we talk about, in July when this takes effect, when we talk about restaurants having to increase their prices, how dramatic an increase do you think we'll see when we look at that menu for the first time?
It's hard to tell, but from some of the articles that I've read, some of the restaurateurs who have been quoted about this new law, they've been saying 20% increase, which is pretty dramatic, I'd say, because they weren't charging a 20% surcharge, but all of a sudden, you know, a $30 bowl of pasta now goes to maybe $40. That's that's 30% right there. I don't know if it's going to be that dramatic, but there's some people who are coming out and saying that it's going to be pretty high. So I guess we'll have to see after July 1st.
I went out to dinner about a month or so ago, and I ordered a menu item, and I looked at the price, and I said, that much for this? Okay, then they must really hook you up when they bring the plate.
Yeah.
No. I'm like, I paid that for that? I'm not going back.
The whole shrinkflation, right?
Yeah, but this is something that seems like could force, you know, if people don't like it and they just decide I'm not going to go out and eat anymore, there are restaurants who could end up shutting down for this.
Yeah, I'd say we're probably going to see quite a few, because restaurants do operate at a pretty thin margin as it is. And with this added extra costs and trying to stay afloat with the rising cost of labor and things like that in California, it's going to be difficult.
All right, Justin Isaac, appreciate your time, man. Thanks for coming in on a Saturday morning.
Appreciate it.
All right.